My guests tonight are former Everton and Wales defender Ashley Williams. Welcome along, guys. And of course, I'm joined by football journalist and broadcaster Julien. Guys, we're going to get straight into it. The Manchester derby, where goalkeepers are leading the debate. We've got the prospect of the man widely recognised as the world's best, Gianluigi Donnarumma, making his debut for City. And Pep Guardiola surprised plenty of people with his deadline day signing. And today, he had this to say about him.
What does he give you that you didn't have?
He's so tall. That gives us is so huge.
You've not always had that though, have you? Like did you
all
want
the keepers
like
we want is save balls and give us confidence to the team and personalities, a big presence and the biggest stages. So the Champions League has done last season in Villa Park, in Anfield, and in many games prove how good it is, and he's going to concede goals. That's for sure. He's going to concede goals, but in all of us, we are going to try to hold in that don't happen.
I love it. It's the most classic Pep answer there. It's like, what do you think of your new goalkeeper? So big, so big. I mean, look, Donnarumma, right? It was a late deal that got done. Julien, I'll come to you. Do you see this as a Pep signing?
He's the best goalkeeper in the world, this is true. He will win the Yashin Trophy at the end of September on the same night of the Ballon d'Or ceremony. So on his line, there's just no doubt he's incredible. He's really the best you can find out there. But if you had to qualify a kind of Pep Guardiola type of goalkeeper, you would think, okay, good with the ball, right? Because you build up from the back and this is a very important phase of play for them. He's not that. His percentages last season were not too bad with PSG, but simply because he played short passes to Marquinhos and to Pacho, or to Hakimi and to Mendes.
Well, that was the big question that everyone was saying. It's like, oh, Donnarumma's come in. Yes, he's fantastic, but is he good enough with his feet?
Yeah, which he isn't. If you ask him to play the ball from here to there, no problem. We can all do that. You don't have to be a Premier League player. Yeah. If you ask him to do an assist like Ederson used to do before, or even like a diagonal to beat the press, that's not his game, really.
Okay. Ash, being a centre-back, does size matter for the goalkeeper? That's an odd question, but I'll ask it anyway. Does it really matter? Like when you're looking at your goalkeeper, is the fact that he's this big, is that helpful?
I don't think so. I've played with goalkeepers that are 6 foot, have been brilliant in the past. I've played with taller ones that weren't as good. As long as what you'd like as a centre-back is someone that commands the box, or at least if he doesn't, he lets you know, like, lads, I'm not coming for stuff. I don't really like coming off my line.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about, to answer a bit on your question as well, is it's that experience that he brings, the experience that of winning the Champions League and all what he's achieved in his career, to bring that into the dressing room. I think Pep will welcome that, and his back four will welcome the fact that he's so experienced.
Yeah, and it sounds ridiculous that we're saying it. Obviously, they brought in James Trafford this summer. What does that do mentally for him? I mean, Ash, you've seen it with Goalkeepers Union. Everyone thinks, the goalkeepers, so tight. They train together. That how much will this be affecting him?
Well, it will. It's awkward. He came in, he played, and now you've just brought in probably the best goalkeeper in the world. So he's going to go straight over the top of you. And know it's one of those positions. Centre backs. There's 2 of us. So if there's 3, we can fight it out. Yeah. He can't really. He knows he's just going to be sitting on the bench now, so it's difficult for him. I'm sure, it has affected him. But goalkeepers usually, for the most part, are good lads, and they kind of do stick together. So, and they've got a really good way of supporting the number 1 goalkeeper. If he can do that, then great, because that's going to make his life easier, James Trafford. If not, it's going to be a long season for him.
He will learn a lot from Donnarumma. I mean, you can imagine you train with the best goalkeeper in the world, but when you signed for City, you were the number 1. That's why you signed for it. They paid a lot of money for him, over 30 million. To be the number 1, he had an amazing year last season in the Championship with Burnley, broke records. And then from that day he signed to 6 weeks later, he finds himself on the bench.
That's it. Well, United also have a new keeper on board, but Ruben Amorim has confirmed that Lammens will not play at the Etihad on Sunday. Altay Bayındır will start despite some tough games lately, but with Andre Onana now out on loan, Lammens is there to push him for the number 1 spot. Amorim has been speaking to Patrick Davison.
Sometimes, first of all, most of the times you have several options, one more for the present, one for the present and the future. And then you try to get the right guy. what is possible, what is not possible, what is best for our moment as a club, and we did that. And Lammens is a young guy with a lot of potential, but he's ready also if we need another goalkeeper. Andre Onana, I think he showed in Inter that he's a top goalkeeper, but sometimes things are not working in some environments, some moments. And I think we as a club and also Andre felt that is a moment to do a little change. We don't know the future, but it was time to change.
When was that decision made? Because at the start of the summer, at the start of the pre-season, it sounded like the club wasn't looking for a new goalkeeper. So when was that decision made? Maybe who made it? Was that your call?
We do everything together. We are not going to do anything the other part. When I say other part, there is the manager, there is the sport director, there is the board that you have to convince, the CEO. So we try to do everything together. It's hard to talk about in football, to talk the when we did that decision. We have a plan. And everybody knew that we want to address, especially in front, to score goals. And then we have different options, and we try to imagine the rest of the season, the moment of the players. We are talking with the players every day. We are assessing the market. So we knew that there was a lot of clubs after Lammens, and we have to project the future of the club. And that decision brought us Lammens.
So sometimes, like, how does that sort of decision happen? Was there a moment maybe where your mind was changed?
No, it's not about the mind. Of course, if you ask any manager, you ask me a lot of questions today, in the next week, the answers would be different. Not the path, but the way to get the same destination is going to be different. And then you have to look at the performance, the moment, and you saw the last game. It's not about the last game of Andre, but
So it wasn't like you watched the Grimsby game and thought, right, that's it.
You can feel the environment, the fans, the social media, the club. We had some moments like this, and we felt that was a good moment to make a change in that position. And then we look at the young talent like Lammens, and we went for it.
So who's the next Van der Sar? Who's the next?
That's this week. I hope to see Altai doing well like Van der Sar, and then in the future they have to fight for the place. And I think we as a team can help the goalkeepers also to be better. We are doing that, I think, because we are being more dominant. There is no a lot of opportunities from the opponents, and we are struggling some moments like set pieces, like throw-ins, and we can do better to help our goalkeepers.
I mean, quite interesting there from Ruben. Julien, I'll start with you, just because I think when Lammens came in, a lot of Man United fans thought, oh, this is it, this is our number one. Not a lot of people obviously have seen him play, especially a lot of the Man United fans, a lot of the Premier League fans. Are you surprised that Bayern has got the backing to start already?
Not really. I think for Lammens, such a young player to come in from just one season in the top flight in Belgium, I'm not sure he's ready, especially for Manchester derby. If the game had been, I don't know, let's say at home to Burnley, for example, then it's maybe a better environment to start him for his debut. City away, I don't think so. Bayern would be there. I wouldn't be surprised at the next mistake from Bayern if then they try Lammens. But I still think they should have signed a very experienced, strong goalkeeper with leadership. And not right now that United are in that position with Bayern and Lammens as goalkeepers is beyond me. I don't get it.
Yeah, Ash, would you say the same? Like Man United should have just addressed the situation, gone out there and signed an established goalkeeper. I think it's quite shocking in a way to kind of feel like seeing what the manager's saying, and he's going, oh, he's one for the future. Yeah. When everyone is kind of looking at it going, the problem is right now.
Right now, yeah. Shocked, really. It was an area, they had a few areas I think they needed to upgrade, and they did an okay job on the rest of them. They needed a goalkeeper, and they needed experience. One, going back to what we were talking about with Donnarumma at City, they needed somebody to take control of that 18-yard box, which weren't happening at all, the exact opposite. So now they're left with these two. And I don't know. I agree with you. I think Bayern did one more mistake. If it's in the derby, he's out. He's out the starting lineup straight away. So it's just another problem. And it seems to be like we speak about Manchester United so much, but Manchester United and Ruben Amorim almost create problems for themselves and talking points for us to talk about on the negative side. So if it was me, one of the first things I would have been trying to identify was I need a goal, because Andre Onana was making so many mistakes for so long.
Yeah.
That this was always coming, so it's not like a surprise. It was a matter of when.
But on that point, obviously, if you're saying, Julien, that one mistake from Bayern and it might be swap and change. As a defender, especially as a centre back, how important is it that your club just goes, no, do you know what? This is our number one, and this is who you guys are gonna build that relationship.
Yeah, no, it's really important. But so I think they kind of did that with Onana for a while, and it just wasn't happening. And you, as a centre back, then you try to build that relationship. At some point, the club has to make a change. But what you would like to have seen, if I was in the dressing room myself, is somebody coming in that I know. Okay, this guy's won things before, or he's played so many appearances that he can now help me and he can give me some advice, and I'm not having to look after him as well as myself, which I think that this is the situation that Manchester United defenders find themselves in.
Absolutely. But I think it's fair to say that a lot of fans, we don't know too much about Sen Lammens, but one person who does is football data analyst Spencer Mossman, who we can speak to live. Thank you so much for joining us, mate. And look, I mean, when it comes to Lammens, what are his strengths?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. So he has two major strengths, and those are, I think, ones that United fans would probably be pretty excited to hear. The first is that he's an incredible shot stopper. He saved 81.4% of the shots that he faced last season, which is phenomenal. To put that into context, although it was in the Belgian league, some of the players that have moved to the Premier League from the Belgian league in the past, like Matt Sells, he was in the 70 to 75% range. Verbruggen was about 75%. Even Thibaut Courtois, when he was playing in Belgium, he was at about a 71% save percentage. So really phenomenal stuff on that front. And then as well, stopping crosses is the other one. I know that it was just talked about being able to command the 18-yard box. That's something he does really well. He was top 10 in Europe last season with a 12% career cross-stop percentage. So really, experience is probably the thing that's lacking, but the potential that he showed and the couple attributes that he's shown really phenomenal ability in, yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
Well, that's it. I mean, whenever a club gets a new player, everyone instantly goes onto YouTube, you check the highlights, and the highlights, they can look amazing. I guess what Man United fans would want to know is what are his weaknesses? What might they not want to be dealing with this new goalkeeper? Yeah,
so there's one major weakness, and in interacting with United fans online, I wouldn't even say it's a weakness that they care too much about, but he's not a sweeper. If you look at the keepers that preceded him at Antwerp, they were more sweepers, so it's not like a situation thing where he was just not asked to do it. It's just not what he does. But in seeing where I think football is going in general, you look at Donnarumma going to a Manchester City team with Pep Guardiola. You look at how Liverpool looks to be backfilling Alisson with Mamardashvili. That seems to be deprioritized in football right now. So that's the area that he struggles in the most, but that's also one that's maybe not so important.
Absolutely. And what would you say is the best comparison for people to know about Lammens? Because everyone's going to be going, oh, he's a bit like this goalkeeper, a bit like that. Who would you say he's most likened to?
Certainly. So one, I'll give you two. One, Unai Simon from Athletic Bilbao, the Spanish national team goalkeeper. Large, but not like Donnarumma large, but good shot stopper, good cross stopper, not much of a sweeper. That would be the best comparison that I can find. And then in the Premier League, I'm not saying that he is this level or this is the level that he could ultimately achieve, but Jose Sa is the same profile of keeper in terms of the command of the box, but not really being one that does too much with their feet outside of it.
Okay, and just finally, mate, what would be your overall conclusion of this? You know, we've seen Amorim kind of saying this is one for the future, and fans should kind of give him a little bit of time. What would you say?
Yeah, I think the data backs that up as well. You can't really take too much out of one season. I mean, it was a really phenomenal season that he put out there last year, but you can only really gain experience with age, and he doesn't really have that. So I think it is ideal that He's being treated as a for the future prospect. Is that exactly what United needs right now? Not necessarily, but for him to actually achieve and reach a ceiling, I think probably in the next couple of years, he could be one of the top 2 or 3 keepers in the world, but he's not going to be that immediately, and thrusting him in right now might delay that outcome.
Wow. Spencer Mossman, thank you so much, mate, for joining us. Really appreciate that. Well, what a game in prospect then. You can see the Manchester derby live from the Etihad on Super Sunday from 4 p.m.